the Great Reset, you describe it, it lives off 5 ideologies that are really evil. And we've covered victimism, which is, you describe in your book, as the counterfeit of Christian ethics.
Yes.
You know, you feel good, you're doing something, but you're doing something bad, actually.
It's the opposite of solidarity, masquerading as solidarity.
Yeah. And you covered climate cultism, on how the push to electric vehicles we say is going to save the planet, it's actually killing people.
Yes.
Let's go through the other 3.
And bad for the planet.
And bad for the planet. Gnosticism.
Yeah, Gnosticism is a trick, boy. It's old, right? The very early church, the church in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century was colliding with Gnosticism all the time. It's this idea that there's this elite that you can become a part of through various initiations, where you have transmitted to you through some mysterious way knowledge.
Are we talking Skull and Bone Society at Yale?
Well, I mean, when people
that.
hear Gnosticism, they think of the occult, they think of Freemasonry, they think of the Illuminati or the Skull and Bones. But that's not really what it is. The early Christians, they really dealt with Gnosticism. What Gnosticism is, and the reason why the church has always opposed Gnosticism, is because it creates division in communities that can't be healed through reason. So we come to truth through 2 ways. Revealed religious truth that's revealed to us by God and transmitted through the centuries by the body of believers. We can look to the teachings today and what we believe as Christians, and we can trace it back to the 1st century. We can read the writings of Christians in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th century. We can see this continuity. We can judge it. We can see if there's breaks in teachings or breaks in beliefs. And then also through unaided reason unaided by revealed religious truth. What Gnosticism does is I'll give you an example. Facebook fact checkers. This is false, or this is partially false.
Yeah.
Well, then they don't explain it. This violates community standards. Well, that's more subjective. They don't tell you what those standards are either, because then you could hold them accountable. Amazon's not letting me run the trailer for this book because they says it violates community standards. They didn't tell us which standards it violated. That's actually Gnosticism. When you get something censored for being fake news or untrue, what do they call it? Disinformation.
Right.
But they don't address it. Well, that's Gnosticism.
Misinformation, malinformation.
Misinformation, yeah. They are the Gnostic elite. But it's infected the right. And actually, I deal with this a lot. QAnon. You had people that were holding to something that was communicated through an anonymous source, that's ambiguous, that cannot be refuted nor proven. That's Gnosticism.
Yeah.
That's Gnosticism. And what makes it even worse is it would speak calumny about real human beings that it couldn't prove, because they're citing an anonymous source that communicates ambiguously in ways that you can't verify. If you remember, was Tom Hanks was being arrested. Tom Hanks died. It's a Tom Hanks clone.
Yeah.
It's quite strange, and people that I've respected have really been called into it. And I have a friend that was really into QAnon that had committed suicide. And that's what Gnosticism does. It creates anger, it creates fear, it creates confusion, and it creates a sense of impotency to react. And that's why, what was QAnon's motto? Trust the plan.
Whose plan? What plan?
Well, the plan that the anonymous, ambiguous
with pictures of things that were taken on Air Force One and all. Yes.
And that's Gnosticism. And that's why I wanted to include that into the book, because when I saw people that I loved and respected being seduced by Gnosticism, which is seductive when one is faced with what seems to be insurmountable odds. But the truth is, the Great Reset will collapse. The only question is, how much damage will it do in the process? Hitler's 1,000-year Reich lasted 12 and a half years. Stalin lasted 7 years. The CCP may last 100 if it's lucky. Ideologies of evil, because evil's a deprivation, collapse. But it can cause a lot of pain and suffering.